All right, here we are again, Ben with Northern Lights Music at the Bourgeois Guitar Booth's 2020 NAMM show. I'm here with the legendary Dana Bourgeois. So, Dana, I want to ask you, what are you excited about? What do we have here?
Well, we got quite a few things we can show some of your viewers, and maybe we should start over in this corner, take a little walk through the some of the stuff in our booth.
Great, let's take a look.
Sometimes NAMM is such a big visual and audio onslaught, that we've decided that it's really tough to display like the fine points of the tonality of our guitar. So we might as well let it, they damn well better look good. So we've kind of broken our booth up into two things, sort of new and then sort of one-off customs to kind of show what we can do. Every year we try to bring out a few new things at the show. And starting with over here, we've been building the LDBO for 6 or 7 years. It's been really one of our new sort of classic designs. There are a lot of variations, as you can imagine. This year we're making a deep body version, kind of like the Nick Lucas style guitar, and the deep body will be available in 12, 13, and 14 fret. This is a 14.
Those Nick Lucas's 13 fret deep bodies, those very cool guitars.
This is kind of a reissue of a guitar that we made a number of years ago. It's a 12 fret slope D, snakehead, and a pointy cutaway. The interesting part about this cutaway is that we bend the guitar as a non-cutaway and then make a cut at just the right place, flip the piece around, and then build the side. And I remember when we were designing it 20 years ago, we sat there on the computer and drew, what it would look like cutting at a number of different points, every 1/10 of an inch or so. And this is what we ended up with. This guitar will also be available. This is a 12 fret. This cutaway will also be available on a 14 fret as an option. And again, we're just expanding our 12 fret cutaways. We have small, medium, and large 12 fret cutaways. So it's been a very good design for us.
Including the new 12 fret Coop, which is a double O with a cutaway. We have that in Brazilian right now. Super cool guitar.
World's most comfortable guitar with the 12 fret short scale, the cutaway. It's the perfect couch potato guitar. And here's one right here without a cutaway. This is the Coop. The Coop is a 12 fret neck on a 14 fret body. Many 12 fret guitars have an elongated body, but that's not the case with this instrument. So it's actually a unique instrument, very compact. There's not much of a reach involved in playing, and it's a big sound and a little guitar. 12 frets always do that. 12 frets always sound a little bit bigger. So if you can add a cutaway to it, you get the reach of the 14, you get the sound of the 12 fret. It's a beautiful combination. Right over here is a 14 fret version of the Coop. Officially the Coop is a 12 fret. We built it in the style of our soloist. In fact, it's a sort of the appointments exactly mirror the soloist, but instead of being in an OM size body, it's a double O size body. So we think of it as a mini soloist. This particular one is Brazilian rosewood and a beautiful Italian spruce top.
Where did that Italian top come from?
From Italy. No, we have one of our dealers in Pennsylvania brings in very nice Italian spruce. I did buy some when I was in Italy last year. I did bring in a bunch of bear claw Italian, which is unobtainium, very very difficult stuff to find. So I think you're gonna be seeing some of that on.
I have a guitar coming with some of that. I'm very excited.
This isn't it though. This is the very nice straight grain. I passed that up when I was in Italy, just because I can get it over here. As always, we are inspired by vintage design, but we kind of try to do it our own way. I used to own I forget what the year was. It was the 30s L12 that had this kind of block inlay pattern, and I also owned a Century of Progress once that had sort of this kind of inlay pattern on the head. So we just try to take some of our own inlay pieces and put them in the squares and put them in a package that looks like it could have been designed 75 years ago or 80 years ago. It's an awful lot of fun. Everyone gets to collaborate, and this particular one happened to have a nice bear claw top, and the coloring is all kind of nice with the pale sunburst. Brazilian rosewood back and side. This probably won't be a model, but it'll be we'll do. It's another one of those guitars we can do spin variations on. The Red Stag is what we're calling it, just because of the antler type feel of the inlays.
And this would be a luthier's choice. And tell me a little bit about how you used Cocobolo on this guitar.
The Cocobolo is the binding. The top, the headstock, and the fretboard. I now wish we'd bound the rosette or the sound hole as well, but so we'll have to do that next time.
Hindsight is 2020.
The Cocobolo is also the inside of the blocks. It's a nice color combo, I think. We're really pleased with the way it came out. This is my 45th anniversary as a luthier, and we felt we had to do a little something special to commemorate it. We collaborated with Olson Inlays to come up with what we call the Bouquet Pattern. My original concept was like a bouquet of flowers just spilling over the fretboard and the headstock. And I did a bunch of clip art, on Google and on flower bouquets, and drew fretboards and sent them a few samples, and this is what they came up with. They really captured the concept and the idea of what I wanted without actually copying the photos. And then I said, oh, well, why don't you put a couple butterflies in it? A little edit, a few edits here and there, but I'm just so pleased with the way it came out. Absolute tour de force inlay pattern. This will be available on selected guitars throughout the year as our 45th anniversary inlay pattern. This guitar happens to be on a Brazilian OM45 with a bear claw Italian spruce top from the same batch as that guitar that you folks are going to be getting shortly. I'll show off a little bit of the back. Some nicely figured Brazilian rosewood, which we don't see very often anymore. So we're just very proud of this guitar. This is a guitar we've come to call the Odyssey OMSC. Starting about a year ago, we decided we sort of needed to take a little foray into contemporary design. This guitar features an armrest, some very contemporary sound hole treatment, And more importantly, the back. I don't know if you can see on the inside, Asher, but this guitar features an X-brace back, actually a double X back. It's a lattice back, which gives it a very different kind of flavor of tone. The lattice back, if you build the back stiffly, the guitar can be very loud, but a little narrow tonally. If you build a very light back, you can have a very broad tonal range, not quite as loud. I think the lattice back kind of gives you a little bit of both worlds. So we're really pleased with the result. This one happens to be all gussied up with mother of pearl inlay, top back sides like a 45, and as you can see, the headstock and fretboard is a brand new pattern we call the Cat's Cradle.
And we have that rosette pattern on a limited edition redhead in stock.
That's right. It actually grew out of the redhead.
Yeah, and so this is a new pattern, very, very cool visually and
offset.
Yeah.
Which you can only do with CNC. This guitar is another step backward in time. Last summer when I was in Italy, I went to the Stradivari Museum, and they have a beautiful, I'm trying to remember the name of the violin, but there's a violin that has an inlay pattern around the edge of the violin with the ball and lozenge, it's called. And I said, okay, well, we should do something like that to make a wonderful rosette. We were also talking about taking our regular small jumbo body design, which we've been building for years and years, and making an oval sound hole version, put the two together, and voila, we have the, as I say, it's a kind of a step backward in time. If you see a funny reflection on the back of these guitars, it's because they have a protective plastic coating which peels off. The guitars take a lot of wear and tear at NAMM.
Oh yeah. So now we have a sort of emerald or jade guitar. I think the fretboard actually has jade in it.
It does have jade. Jade and opal.
Wow.
Some of you may be familiar with our White Rabbit guitar, which is an LDBO, 14 fret LDBO with a solid pearl fretboard, kind of like my take on the Century of Progress from the 30s, only instead of mother of toilet seat, we use the real thing. We've been, it's a great guitar to take to a show because it's a real looker. This year we thought, well, what can we do that's different? A variation on the same theme. So we became aware of some new inlay possibilities and then said, well, why don't we make the whole thing green? So it's curly maple back and side and neck. Beautiful green stain, and the inlays into the pearl are synthetic opal actually, and real jade. The fretboard is English holly. It looks an awful lot like an ivory. Excuse me, not the fretboard, the bridge. It looks an awful lot like an ivory bridge, but it's 100% legal.
Nice.
We've continued the theme of the pearl, jade, and opal onto the bridge, and up on the headstock. It's just straight figured maple, domestic figured maple, pearl buttons, and we like to call it an tastefully gaudy, one of our tastefully gaudy guitars.
And I've been really excited about this modern dreadnought shape with an oval sound hole. Apparently this was designed with Andy Falco, string dusters, yes.
The infamous string dusters. So we've been building the OMSC Odyssey, maybe 5 or 6 examples over the last year. We got to thinking, it's a quintessential fingerstyle guitar. How about building a flat picking version of it? At the same time, we started talking with Andy about his need for a sort of a contemporary flat picking guitar. The string dusters play in big venues, high sound pressure levels. They're not playing like in clubs and festivals so much. They do play some festivals. So Andy needs a guitar that works with a pickup system, works on a mic, and doesn't have a huge bottom end. So at about the same time, we started bringing all of these elements together, with a cutaway, with the large sound hole, with a thinner body, and the X-braced, lattice-braced back. And Andy was just up in our shop about a month ago playing these and really, really fell in love with it. Lately, he's been playing one of our large sound hole OMs instead of a Dreadnought. Big enough sound, good enough balanced for a flat picking bluegrass guitar. Sort of he feels that this will be sort of like something in between.
Now, this has a unique headstock. Is this
yes.
Is this new or?
Yeah, everything is kind of new on this guitar. As a matter of fact, when we've been making a cutaway version of a Dreadnought for quite a while, one of them came out really strange with this very sloping kind of cutaway. And at first we were disappointed, but then I thought, well, let's sort of take off on that. It could be like a nice theme for a contemporary look. So we've taken this angle, the axis of the sound hole has been tilted on the same angle. The axis of the headstock is tilted on the same angle.
That's why it has that sort of forward-moving look to it.
Forward-moving. And then the armrest, it's a fairly minimal armrest, but it's really enough to make a difference. Gives the guitar an offset kind of look. We did the armrest in a very different kind of way. We wanted to continue the herringbone, around the guitar, and again give it like an offset look that kind of complements the cutaway look. So it's really from sort of a bottom-up redesign. We've only made 2 of these so far. We can't wait to make a few more.
Yeah. Is that your signature herringbone?
That is the signature herringbone, yes. 3 colors, black, white, and brown.
Cool. Well, Dana, thank you very much. I wish we had more time. Great to see you here at the NAMM show.
Okay, thank you guys.